Hello, I'm the Hollow One, and today I have a scary story for you called Car Keys. One night, a father and his daughter were driving down a deserted country road when they were returning home from visiting the mother in the hospital. Listening to the sound of the rain drumming on the car roof, the girl began to doze off. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. The father struggled with the steering wheel, but the car skidded off the wet road and slammed into a stone wall. After checking on his daughter, uninjured, the man got out the car to survey the damage. Both of the front tires had large punctures on the right, and the right fender was crumpled up against the wall. The rest of the car was unharmed. "We must have driven over something," he explained to his daughter. "Whatever it was, it blew out both tires." "You can fix it, right?" asked his daughter, somewhat shaken by the accident. "No," he replied after shaking his head. "I've only got one spare tire in the boot. I have to walk back into town and see if somebody could tow the car," he said. "It isn't very far from here. You have to wait in the car while I'm gone." "Okay," she said reluctantly, "but please don't take long." The man could see his daughter's eyes. She was frightened. "Sit tight," he replied as he slammed the car door. "I'll be back as soon as possible." His daughter watched him in the rearview mirror as he trudged off down the road in the pouring rain, and soon he disappeared into the night. More than an hour had passed, and her father still had not returned. The girl began to wonder what was taking him so long. She was very worried because he should have been back by now. Just then, she glanced in the rearview mirror and saw a figure in the distance walking towards the car. At first, she thought it was her father, but when she turned around to take a closer look, she realized it was a strange man. And he was dressed in overalls and had a big bushy beard, and he was carrying something large in his left hand, swinging it back and forth. Something about the man made her very nervous. As he approached, she stared out the back window and squinted her eyes. In the dim light, she just could make out he was clutching in his hands. It was a big, sharp butcher's knife. Thinking quickly, the girl locked both doors in the front of the car. Then she jumped into the back seat and locked the rear doors. When she looked up again, she saw the strange man. He had stopped in his tracks and seemed to be staring directly at her. Suddenly, the man raised his arms, and the girl let out a blood-curdling scream. In his left hand, he was clutching her father's severed hand. She just kept screaming and screaming. She couldn't stop herself. Her heart was pounding as she struggled to breathe. The grotesque expression on her father's face was horrifying to behold. His mouth was hanging open, his eyes were rolled in the back of the head. When the man reached the car, he shoved his face right up against the window and glared at her with his crazed, bloodshot eyes. His hair was wild and matted with dirt. His face was covered in deep scars. For a moment, he just stood there in the driving rain, grinning at her like a madman. Then he reached into his pocket and took something out and slowly lifted his left hand. He was holding the father's car keys. Now, if you like this story, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And forever and always, welcome to the void.